Hello, everybody, and welcome to tonight's episode of Tales of Escuria, episode number 24. And just to say, as always, we are presented by and in association with Horsham Gamers. We are a local group who cover the whole range of gaming, through from tabletop and roleplay stuff like this, through board games, esports, competitive gaming, pretty much anything you can think of if it's tied to gaming or nerd culture. We're interested in it too, and we would love to meet some more of you. We are a rapidly growing community, and we have lots of events that are coming up soon. So we'd love to meet some more of you in person. And if you want to find out more, then you can head down to the links that we've got down below. Just look for Horsham Gamers on any of the socials. Discord is one of our main hubs. Otherwise, our Facebook group, or hit us up on Twitter. And we'd love to meet some more of you. So let's get on with tonight's episode of Tales of Escuria. So, last episode, just a quick recap because it's been a while both for you and for us. Last episode, you guys investigated some of the documents that you found on board the ship named the Silent Sisters. You discovered that the ship had been going on a very strange route and seemed to be picking up large amounts of very expensive cargo. something seemed to be very odd with both the manifest of the goods that the ship is moving around, um, and also something seems very odd to do with the crew of the ship. Um, you investigate a little bit further, and Vixen has started to decipher a coded letter that you found inside the captain's quarters of the Silent Sisters, and you have also had a look at a map which appears to show the island down in the southwest of Escuria, which has previously been thought until now to be uninhabited. In fact, has a village on it. And we finished off last episode with Kada going to have a conversation in private with
Oh yeah, I forgot.
the captain of the Morale Cultressin, the Queen of the Storm. So we'll pick up with that. So, Kada, you approach the captain's quarters. Whilst everyone else seems to be below decks, kind of around about kind of 8 o'clock-ish at night. You are heading up there after everyone else has kind of started to settle down and they've had their meals, and there's a kind of you've discovered over the last couple of nights here that there seems to be a kind of like a nightly card game, and most people seem to be in attendance of that. And you head up onto the top deck of the ship to the captain's quarters. When you approach the outside of it, you can see that it is dimly lit from inside, from what you assume to be either small lantern or candlelight. And approaching the door, you can see, as previously you had seen once or twice, the furniture in the room has all been kind of pushed out to the sides, and you can see the arcane circle that has been laid out on the floor, and you can see Captain Koram is kind of legs crossed in a meditative position, slightly hovering above the ground inside this circle. As you approach, what would you like to do?
So am I like in the room or outside the doorway? Or sorry, I missed that bit.
You're like outside the door. You can see in through like there's a glass pane on the door.
Okay, so I'll like knock on the door and probably wait for an answer. I don't want to just walk in and interrupt her meditation.
Okay. So you go to knock on the door, and before your hand makes contact with the door, you hear, without her opening her eyes, her just say, "Come in."
Okay, so I'll go in and close the door and say, you wanted to see me.
Yes, please. If you wouldn't mind, would you step into the circle with me for a second?
What do I know about these circles?
Make an Arcana check.
Sorry, I haven't even got my thing up.
Right.
Not a huge amount.
No, you don't. You know enough to recognize that this is a magic circle, but
Can I work out if it's going to harm me or anything?
No, there doesn't seem to be. It's difficult to tell what the purpose of the circle is.
Okay. I will approach cautiously and ask her what the purpose of the circle is.
Okay. She kind of smiles pleasantly before she says, "Very good. Cautious of you. I expect that a good leader of people, and it is good to see you do not disappoint. This circle will not harm you in any way. It is merely so that I can enhance some of my own perceptive abilities. I find it useful when I am a long way from my home to occasionally be able to see further than my normal eyes would allow, if you understand.
Can I tell if she's lying?
Make an insight check.
Really need to improve my insight.
She seems to be perfectly genuine.
Okay. I will sit in the circle with her, but be boring and sit on the floor because I don't feel like it today.
Okay. When you do kind of take a seat inside the circle, she also she like gently hovers herself down so that she's on a level with you. And you can see when she does so, it's almost like there is like a slightly kind of ghostly image of her that like about half a second after seems to follow all of her movements. And then she kind of like finally settles down, and it seems as though the kind of ghost-like image kind of like catches up to her, and then kind of like she like clicks her neck to either side, and then says, "Tell me, Kata, how much do you know of the history of the place we call Escuria?"
Not very much.
I had assumed as much. Otherwise, you would have been more careful until now.
Oh dear.
I am telling you this merely as a warning, as a friend, because for as long as you are on my ship, you are potentially in danger. Not from me or from my crew, but from others. Because of that. And she points at the sword that you have at your side, your rapier.
What do you know about this sword?
Well, as I told you, I often have a need to see more than my normal eyes can. And yesterday, when you were sparring, I suppose, with your elfish friend, I was in the middle of meditating. My eyes were perceiving beyond this plane at the time. And yet, something drew me back. An extremely bright point of power. Something right here on my ship. And I walk outside, and I see your sword. And I've spent a little while trying to figure out what that might mean. And, well, I asked you how much you know about history. Surely you would have heard of Empress Arachne, the founder of the Empire. You would have heard of her, yes.
Maybe?
You see her kind of like shake her head and say, "Alright, we're going back that far then."
Settle in for a history lesson, kids.
Empress Arachne was the creator of the empire in which we currently reside. She took a group of wayward, outcast drow who had been forced to leave their home for some reason that we do not remember, or perhaps we do not care to remember. And she brought them here, on a pilgrimage. She founded this land and made it their home, and in return for her guidance and her wisdom and her strength in times of trouble, she was named the first Empress of Escuria. She reigned for a very, very long time, if you believe some people. And in this time, she had 8 children. These 8 children, each of whom were very powerful in their own right, when she died, took one of her possessions as a reminder of her wisdom and her grace, so that they might rule in a way that was fitting of her legacy. One of these, the Princess Varin, took her sword, a rapier. I believe that is the same rapier you currently hold.
Um, I would guard my face and my emotions and sort of ask, what is what his history is like? How did it end up being where I got it?
This is a good question. Not one with a simple answer, but a moment. I apologize in advance. This may be slightly disorientating, but just please stay calm. And she kind of points at the edge of the circle and says, "Keep your hands and feet inside the vehicle at all times." And she kind of begins to hover slightly, and you see the area around you almost kind of radiating out. There's this kind of faint silvery blue energy, and the inside of the ship starts to kind of fade away, and you find yourself in a very different kind of place to a place you've ever been before. You see surrounding you in all directions, kind of like in every kind of north, south, east, west, and all the diagonals, you see what seems to be just an endless line of bookshelves going in every direction. And at this point, she kind of like rests back down onto the floor and says, "It has been a long time since I showed someone this, but I feel this may be necessary. Welcome to the Astral Archive."
Thanks.
I believe we may be able to find something to help you here. Let me see. And she starts to kind of like wave her fingers, and in very kind of like precise small motions form kind of sigils in the air. And when she finally kind of like finishes one, she places her palm against it. And from one of the very distant bookshelves, you can see a book comes flying at an inhuman speed towards her, and she just goes, "I believe this may be able to shed some light on the situation." And she kind of opens it up, and it kind of automatically seems to flip to a specific page. And she says, "Well, do you recognize it?" And she turns the book around, and you can see an illustration of what is definitely your rapier.
Well, yes.
Good. I think that that confirms that mystery. And she turns it around and she starts to read to you. You notice the writing inside the book is in a language that you do not speak or recognize.
Okay.
And she begins to read to you. She says, "The Guiding Blade. In the days after the War of the Eight Heirs, the surviving children of Empress Arachne each took a relic as an heirloom. Princess Varin, warlike and bold as she was, chose her mother's weapon, that she might too lead her people with strength and vigor. It was in these days that Varin used this weapon to unify her people and bring them under her banner as the first shogun of House Varin. And she took the title of the Guiding Blade, a title that the blade itself is also now known by." Following her death on the day of veiled ash, the blade was thought lost to the fire and the waves. And so it was for a time. At some juncture or other, the blade was discovered and changed hands many times by trade, by loss, by theft, by murder. Each new wielder was unaware of its power or its provenance, and none were ever the true master of the blade, until it found a worthy inheritor in Admiral Karina Krieve, whose brave decision to defy a direct order in service of saving her crew earned her the allegiance of the blade and the title that follows. The blade was hers for a time, and with it she rallied many a sailor, both fair and foul alike, to the banner of the new House Tithos. Following her murder, the blade passed from unworthy hand to unworthy hand, none of whom would ever earn the title that they sought. And after centuries turned to millennia, and stories turned to legend, many believed that the power of the blade had waned, or perhaps it never held power at all in the first place. Regardless, many seek the blade to this day, hoping that they might have the fortitude to awaken this relic and inherit the title of the guiding blade. I believe, she says, closing the book and kind of dismissing it, I believe it has finally found its way to you, though I'm unsure of the line of unworthy hands that it has passed through until now. And I can tell you one thing for certain. It definitely has power. But
How do I know if I'm worthy or not?
that is the question. The book does not say anything of how one becomes worthy or proves oneself able to use the weapon. It seems a mystery. I can certainly tell you that the blade holds considerable power. Those that believe that it has lost its power are very much mistaken. Though the power seems dormant. It seems it needs something to awaken it.
And does the book say anything about that?
Unfortunately, no. This book was itself only written a few hundred years ago, and the blade has not had a worthy owner for maybe a millennia. Regardless, people are going to want this. People are going to come after this, and if they recognize it, they will try to take it from you. I don't think they will ask nicely.
Don't think I've ever been asked anything nicely.
I merely wanted to give you ample warning. And I will say now, I have no interest in holding this. This is dangerous, this is trouble, and I do not want it on my ship. But you are here for now, and I am not going to try and cast you overboard simply because you had the misfortune of picking up something you did not understand. But I do want to make it clear that you are potentially in danger for as long as this sword is used. And who knows, maybe you will awaken it. And if you do, that might be more danger, to be honest.
Is there a way to conceal it that you know of? What you can think of?
There are certainly spells that can be used to change the appearance of an object or to conceal its
no, I
magical
mean to
nature.
sort of disguise it as power. If you can detect it, others must be able to as well.
There are certainly ways you can disguise an object's magical power. There are spells that can do it. There are enchanted items that can do it. I will look into this further, in the interest of the safety of my own crew. But for now, I think it is safest that you only draw this weapon when you absolutely need to.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you for the information.
You are welcome. Your friends seem to trust you, to want to follow you. And I think that leadership qualities are perhaps part of what makes the blade drawn to its wielders. This very much seems to imply that the blade itself has some kind of personality or intent. I don't know if it's good or it's bad, but it ended up with you for some reason. And I think that may have as much to do with the choice of the blade as you. So, make of that what you will.
Okay. I would ask one more favor from you.
Name it.
In your research about it, can you look up information about this Karina? Did you say Creve? What was her name?
Admiral Karina Creve. Yes, I can certainly look into that.
See if you can find out any accounts of what she was like and things.
Of course. I will see what I can dredge up in between researching all the other things we have to look at the moment.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyway, I think it's probably time we got you back to your own plane of existence. And she kind of clicks her fingers. And you are sat back down in exactly the same position that you had been before you got up and started moving around the library. Okay. I'm going to get back to my meditation. And I hope that this can be kept fairly secret. Of course, you may tell your own friends if you believe that that is necessary and helpful, though I don't want my entire crew suddenly thinking that there's a magic sword up for grabs, because let me tell you, that is going to be a really massive headache and I don't want it.
You wouldn't have a crew at the end of that, so I'd rather not the news get out.
Exactly. Glad we're on the same page. Alright, you're dismissed.
Thanks. Just sort of stand up and leave.
In response to the questions that you've been posting in the chat, Alan, it's a good question. Perhaps if you were to make a history check, I might be able to tell you.
But we didn't hear that conversation.
Yeah, I mean, no.
Yeah.
It's something you can look into at another time. But I imagine you would probably know.
I mean, I would probably know, but I don't really care now, so I don't know how to say it. Like, I'm not thinking about it, so if it comes to the conversation, I will ask.
Yeah, no worries. Okay. So, the nighttime comes, and you begin your watch again, looking over the ship as the crew moves to the night shift, and the smaller select crew members remain on deck just to keep the ship moving. So who is going to take the first watch of the night?
I will.
I think, yeah, we were going to take the first watch and then the others were going to take the second and third because they're elves.
Mhm.
Okay.
I'm good with it. I've been studying all day. I could do with a breather.
After that conversation, I could do with the rest.
Alessia, do you want to go on the first watch as well?
Yeah, okay. That's fine.
Cool. Okay. So, first of all, you will reconvene on the deck. And we'll say this is around about when kind of the quote-unquote shift handover is happening. So you have like a few moments to talk before you go patrolling the boat, if that's something you guys want to do.
Not really?
Not really.
Hi guys, how you doing? How's the translation going, Vixen?
It's long, and I have to say I need to stretch my legs. I need to just walk up and down deck for a bit.
Sounds good. I will join you.
Oh, thanks.
Okay. So,
What about Alicia?
Yeah, I can join you too. I always like to walk on the deck
Yeah, come with us.
and breathe some nice air.
okay.
Breathing is always good.
Each of you make a perception check for me, please.
Oh man.
Is there two?
Can I?
14's right. Wow. Ellen, you're not even up here.
No, but
That's just
it's Alessia's.
it's Alessia's sheet, but it goes by Ellen's character because
Right, gotcha. Okay.
it's all fine. Okay.
I mean, you can do it. If you prefer, Carl, you can do it for me.
No, it's fine. Like I'll know when you're rolling, so it's fine.
Okay.
I can change the name up here. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, let me see. What is that one? Okay. So after about kind of half an hour of your normal patrols, Vixen and Kada, you don't hear anything. But Alessia, you hear from very, very far up above you an odd sound. It sounds kind of clicky kind of sound. Almost like you know when you have like a china cup and a china saucer. It's almost like it's kind of like the two like chinking against each other. But it seems like lower pitched, like larger than that. And it seems to be from very like far up above you, kind of echoing down.
Okay. I just say, have you heard that? That's a very weird noise for open sea.
What
I
noise?
can't hear anything.
Okay.
So
What does it sound like?
Alessia, when you say that, the noise stops immediately.
Oh. Oh, that stops. It might be nothing.
It's in your head.
I'm gonna climb up to the crow's nest, see if I can see anything.
Okay. Make a perception check for me, please.
Can I
Oh, for
listen?
God's sake.
Can I try to listen harder, like using my foxy senses?
If you Hulk out, sure.
I will do that.
Okay. Then make a perception check with advantage, please. You still don't
can't
hear
hear
it.
anything.
Alessia, as the others seem to be kind of like trying their hardest to kind of hear it, you hear it again, except this time it distinctly sounds like there are two sources of this sound. It almost sounds like one makes like a couple of chinking noises, then there's a pause, and then one somewhere like slightly further away makes a similar noise back.
Oh my God, this is so.
Yeah, sounds really bad. Here it again. Can't you hear it?
I think you're imagining it.
I really don't think we should assume that, given that ship that we just found. Can I try and listen really hard again?
Honestly, I think you two are just getting seasick.
No, it's
Oh.
not.
You know what that creature was on that boat, right, Vixen?
Yeah, and we could take it.
I'll say, Kada and Vixen, you can have one more attempt to kind of recognize the sound, or to like.
It's gonna be you, mate. Roll high.
You, I will try and listen.
Please.
Do I know at all what
Oh!
this could be? Sorry.
Oh fuck! It's one of those
Alessia,
things I'm
make
gonna
a
cry.
nature check Vixen, you can also make a nature check, and you can now hear it. And it sounds like
Okay,
there are
no.
now 3 sources
I'm
of that
sorry.
sound.
I shouldn't have doubted you. I can
What does
totally
it
hear
sound
that
like?
noise. Ah.
Can you work out what it is, either of you?
Okay.
What?
Vixen, you
how
can
do
also
we-
make a nature check.
Okay.
Okay. Alessia, you kind of start to piece it together that you think that you're not exactly sure what the thing is, but you think the sound you are hearing is something that is kind of crawling around on the ceiling of the cave. Like, about a kilometer or so above you.
That's
Okay. It
well, what is
Like
it?
when a giant spider walks
sounds
over
like
your
it's
poster in your
crawling
bedroom.
in the ceiling of the cave.
What? Sorry.
It sounds like it's something crawling on the ceiling of the cave.
How big is this something?
To know it must be big because quite far.
In response to your question, everybody roll initiative, please. Well,
Ah!
Alessia and Vixen roll initiative, please.
No!
Oh man, we're not even a full fucking party.
God, it can't be that bad.
Oh,
It's got to be just like a giant spider or something.
how did I just roll a 1? For
But
fuck's
imagine
sake!
a giant spider like
Roll 20's
falling
back
from
to
the sky.
freaking normal.
Yeah.
I just got to take my headset off to put my jumper on. 1 second.
It would be really hard like to land
Yeah,
on
we
shit.
won't end up on the turn board, Cal, because we haven't got a map.
Depending on how big it is.
Yeah, I'm just setting up the map now. Sorry, this is a little bit of the issue with random encounters. The way I've got them on the table is I can't prepare them that far in advance. So just give me a second to set it up, and I'll be right with you. Okay.
Ooh.
Really hoping it's just a spider.
You want me just a spider?
If it's just a spider, I'm not going to hurt it.
Okay.
That's fine. If you want to tame it or something, go ahead. But I don't want to die.
So what you guys see are 3 creatures that appear to be about kind of
What the frick?
Fantastic.
battle map thing is a little bit broken. It's fine. I'll fix it during the break. What you see are 3 creatures. They look almost kind of like vaguely humanoid bodies, but swollen to kind of an uncomfortable degree. Quite large. You can see they have vulture-like heads with long, kind of piercing beaks. And instead of wings, they appear to have what seem to be large barbed hooks. And when they land on the deck, they kind of look towards each other. You can see they don't have any eyes. And they start to kind of like scrape their hooks against one another. And it makes the kind of noise that you had heard before.
Oh,
So
that
they're like
noise! I get it
turtle
now.
crow crickets.
Let me see. I need to initiative.
What's the name of these
guys.
things?
To crow crit.
Cow, what's the legitimate name of these things?
These are hook horrors.
Mine was better.
Yeah, yours was better.
Okay,
Oh, God.
let me see. Right then.
So I'm guessing they're going to be more
where's the initiative?
used to sound rather than sight.
Good point.
Maybe we could distract them.
I feel like we shouldn't really be having this conversation because we have like 2 seconds to react and Cal's too busy setting up the map.
Okay. So first up, furthest back from you, and it is going to advance in the direction of the latest sound it had heard, which I think was... It was either Alessia or Vixen. And I think it's going to go to Vixen because you are the closest
It's
thing.
probably me.
Yeah.
You are closest.
So you can see it kind of like uses its claws to kind of like almost like pierce into the wood of the deck and like scrape itself forwards towards you.
Oh, creepy.
And it is going to go for a attack against you using one of its hooks.
I'm still hulked out. Can we just clarify that?
Yep. 25 to hit. Think that hits.
Yeah.
And let's see.
25?
That's
Jesus.
So bad.
Okay. And you take
Plus
10 points of piercing damage.
lovely. Plus 4.
Ow!
So
Do
yeah,
either Alicia or Vixen understand Thieves' Cant?
I don't.
no.
Okay.
So yeah, you feel the hook kind of like reach and kind of grab kind of almost around your shoulder and then clamp in. You are currently grappled by this creature. That's the end of its turn. Alessia, it is your turn.
It is my turn. So I will. Can I just push Vixen aside?
I'm
And-
grappled. Don't even try.
She's attached. Yeah, you'll rip her arm off.
And use my new glyph.
Sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do I have 1 or 2
Attacks.
attacks
2.
with this?
You have 2 attacks with it.
But move yourself.
Oh, sorry, ignore that.
Oh,
You and your greasy,
Greasy
Marmite
Marmite
knives.
knives.
I'm sorry, I was just trying to find the description, but I accidentally clicked on it.
No, well,
Is that in the compendium? I can't remember what it is.
of course I can't. Can I? Oh,
use the arrows.
Okay.
sorry.
Yeah,
I moved first, and then.
that's cool. And roll damage, that definitely does hit. 9 points of slashing damage. Okay. And your second attack.
Yep.
Okay. Also hits. Roll damage. Ooh, nice. Let me see.
I'm just taking it from his head and slashing him like this.
Nice. It is definitely doing something. It begins to let out a kind of like pained screech, and it lets go of Vixen.
Good.
Okay.
Cal, sorry, can you remind me what the Knives of Ignis do? Because I can't find it in the compendium.
It's not in the compendium.
That'd be why.
Knives of Ignis, they basically, when you speak a command word, they can light on fire and deal fire damage. And they're throwing knives.
Okay.
They are the things you
Oh,
bought
right.
from... I've already forgotten his name, and that's really terrible.
Torvald.
Torvald. Yes, it's things you bought
How
from
many do
Torvald.
I have?
I believe it was 5, and you
Okay,
can
look.
go and pick them back up again.
Yeah. Cool.
Right. Alessia, is there anything else you would like to do with your turn?
Not for now.
Okay. Right then. Vixen, it is your turn.
I am going to full pelt smack him with my new weapon.
No.
Yes.
And I'm going to use its little reservoir. So
Okay.
it literally sounds like thwomp.
Okay then. Let me see. 13. It does not hit, unfortunately.
Ah!
Oh man.
I'm not going to be mean and say you've expended the reservoir because you will know if you were hit or not. So
Okay.
So yeah, unfortunately you do not hit. Is there anything else you would like to do with your turn?
Silently move slightly up.
Make a stealth check for me, please.
This is gonna go badly. Do I get advantage because I'm foxy?
Um,
She's much lighter on her feet as a fox. It clearly has to be
Worse than
advantage.
they
I
have
would say
no
normally
eyes.
yes. However, the creature in front of you literally had you grappled until like 2 seconds ago. It knows you are there.
It knows I was there.
Yes, and then you rolled a 7 on your stealth check, and it still knows you are there.
But with
No, she's got advantage.
because I'm hulked
No.
out and I'm foxy.
No.
It's worth a
You're-
try.
The advantage of you being foxy is balanced out by the disadvantage of the thing literally having had you like that until like 2 seconds ago. Like, it knows you're still there. So it's a 7.
Where are you moving to, Vixen?
Just slightly up.
Ten en cuenta estas cosas,
Define just slightly up.
Yeah,
Just slightly up a little bit. So I've literally just
Okay.
moved. Just
one square.
up.
Okay, cool.
Right, got you. Okay. You see, next up is this one down here. It is going to step in to try and attack Alessia. Yes, Robin?
Carrie's ready to join. She just got a bit excited and joined, and now the cameras are all mucked up on the stream apparently. So I don't know if it's worth
Yeah,
taking a
they've
break.
been mucked up on the stream since we switched to the battle map because I forgot to fix that bit.
Oh. Okay.
All right, we will fix it in a second.
Do you want to do this attack, and then we'll?
Yeah, we'll do this. We'll do this round of combat, and then Kada, once you've had your turn, we'll go to break and we'll fix it.
Okay.
Okay. So this one is going to attack you, Alessia, to try and get you off and away from its friend. So let's see. Nat 1.
Hey, that's what we like.
And it's going to use its second attack.
Oh.
And that's a 20.
Oh man. Not that 20 though.
Okay, but not
Not
natural.
nat 20, no. Just a 20-20. So let's get in an attack. Alessia, you take 9 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
Again, you feel this hook kind of like rake across your back and the barbs kind of like catch into your flesh.
Ouchies.
You are not currently grappled though.
Good.
Okay, and next up is this one up here. And it is going to make its way over here and it starts climbing up the side of the mast.
Okay.
And that's going to be its turn. Kada, what would you like to do?
So I have a question, Mrs. Undermasker.
Uh-huh.
Technically, they can't see us, so does that mean I automatically get sneak damage?
Ooh.
They can't see you in terms of their eyes, but they can perceive you. So you don't automatically.
I haven't done any noise or attacked them, so right now.
Right now, you are technically... hang on, let me check how their vision thing works. Give me a second.
Sneaky girl.
You know it.
They can, in fact, see you.
Oh, fuck it. Why?
They have blind sight. So
does
they
that mean?
basically have
what's that?
echolocation. So they know you are there.
Darn. Okay. I'm going to draw my greasy Marmite knives. What the hell's my command word?
Up to you.
Go!
I'm a shout. No, I'm going to be cooler than that, and I'll shout, Dracarys! And then I will attempt to throw them at the one that's climbing the mast.
Okay.
Instead, burning the whole
Make an
ship
attack
and
roll.
everyone on it.
Well, no, if I hit him, it'll be fine. but not like that. Or like that.
Okay. So your first one you throw, and you can see that it should be going kind of like end over end towards where the creature is, but the creature seems to kind of like off to the side, and it goes over the shoulder. And the second one strikes just kind of above where it is, so it kind of like stops moving to do that dodge movement, and it hits the mast of the ship.
Okay. I'm gonna. Silently move up next to Vixen and Alessia.
Okay, make a stealth check, please. You do so.
That's the end of my turn.
All right then. And with that, we are going to go to break so that I can fix all of the stream stuff and we can get our resident druid on board. So we'll be back
We
soon,
need her.
guys. And we
Downstairs,
will
though.
see you for
Hello.
some more Tales of Escuria fun. See you later, guys.
Shaltosh Kelsila Troulu